Brian bought a 3,200 square foot home in a newly built neighborhood about 40 minutes outside of Atlanta. It checked every box: 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, a bonus space, a formal dining room, a 2-car garage, and tall open ceilings. The purchase price was $475,000, and his monthly mortgage came out to around $2,800. At first, Brian thought that number represented what the house would cost him to live in. He was very wrong. Once he moved in, the real cost started to show up. That first summer, his electric bill hit $430. Cooling a house that size in Georgia heat meant the AC was running almost non-stop. In the winter, his gas bill climbed to about $370. Then there were the fixed costs. Property taxes, about $517 per month. Insurance, roughly $200 per month. HOA fees, $220 per month for amenities he barely used. Water and trash, around $140 monthly. When you add everything together, his actual monthly cost wasn't $2,800. It was closer to $4,400. That's over $53,000 per year just to keep the house running. Brian earns about $92,000 a year. After taxes, he takes home roughly $62,000. That means nearly 90% of his income is going toward the house. After all those payments, he's left with about $1,300 a month for everything else: food, gas, emergencies, life. He's not saving, he's not investing, he's not traveling. On paper, he owns a great house. In reality, the house owns him. This situation isn't rare. Over the past several months, I've been looking into why so many people end up financially stretched after buying homes that seemed affordable at first. A lot of them had the same experience. The mortgage felt manageable, but the total cost became overwhelming. And now they feel stuck. This isn't about whether owning a home is a good or bad decision. It's about how the size of your house directly impacts your financial freedom. There's a specific type of home, large, suburban, often cheaply built, that looks impressive but quietly drains your money. Think of it as a trap. The bigger the house, the more it pulls from you over time. Most people are operating on a simple belief: bigger means better. A larger house feels like success. More space feels like progress. And if you can technically afford the mortgage, it seems like a win. But that thinking misses a huge part of the picture. The mortgage is only one piece of the cost, not the full story. When Brian applied for his loan, he was approved for close to $500,000. The lender told him he could afford it, but what they actually calculated was his ability to handle the mortgage payment, not the full cost of owning that house. They didn't factor in how much more expensive a large home is to run every year. Data backs this up. Homes over 3,000 square feet spend significantly more on utilities than smaller homes, often around 70% more. In Brian's case, he's spending over $7,000 a year just on utilities. A smaller home might cost closer to $4,000. That gap alone is thousands of dollars every year. And utilities are just the beginning. As houses get bigger, property taxes increase, insurance gets more expensive. You need more furniture just to fill the space. Maintenance costs go up across the board. Everything scales with size. Maintenance is where things really get dangerous. Larger homes can cost around 4% of their value annually to maintain. For a $475,000 house, that's close to $19,000 per year. But most homeowners, including Brian, don't budget anywhere near that. Maybe a few thousand at best. Eventually, major things will need to be fixed. The roof, the HVAC system, exterior wear and tear. And when that happens, there's often no money set aside. Now compare that to a smaller option. If Brian had bought a 1,600 square foot home for around $275,000, his numbers would look very different. Lower mortgage, cheaper utilities, smaller tax bill, lower insurance, and no HOA. Overall, his yearly housing cost would drop to roughly $30,000. Right now, he's spending over $53,000 per year. The smaller house would cost about $30,000. That's a difference of more than $23,000 every single year. Money that could go towards savings, investments, or actually enjoying life, instead of being locked into a house that's simply too big.